I want to share a story with you tonight, a true story that I shared with the Howard County Council at a budget hearing for Howard Community College a number of years ago. And I'll start with telling you that earlier in the evening for the budget hearing, there was the Columbia Foundation cocktail party. And I'd had just a little bit too much to drink. I had 2 martinis and my limit was 1. So after the cocktail party, went to the county council hearing, and I did not sign up to speak. A number of people signed up to talk about Howard Community College and how we had state-of-the-art this and high-tech that, and it was all very exciting. This was as computers were getting to be very much a part of our daily lives. I was sitting there thinking, well, there's more to what we do at the college, particularly in the arts, than just high tech. But all I kept hearing was high tech, and the next person, we have higher tech. So I was getting a little flummoxed and a little drunk. So I kind of creeped down. I hadn't signed up to, and I tapped on the then President Dwight Burrell's shoulder. And he turned and looked at me, and I said, I want to speak. There was terror in his eyes, okay? I generally made the administration a little nervous to begin with, but and he was like, all right. So anyway, I did get up to speak, and I was the last speaker that day. And I told this story to the county council, and actually the story took place right in this room, right there. It was a young acting student of mine, a young man about 27 years old. And I was teaching an evening acting class, a beginning acting class, and this young man had never taken acting before, had never acted before, never been on stage. And we were working with the whole class on working on monologues, kind of solo speak. So he asked me to help him choose one, because he didn't really have a lot of experience in it. And he seemed like a very serious young man. So I picked a monologue for him from a play called Dylan. It's the life of Dylan Thomas, not Bob Dylan. And the monologue took place when Dylan had just received the word from his doctor that he was dying. And that, he had had, I think, cirrhosis of the liver, and he was dying. And his response, the Dylan's response was anger and sorrow and don't believe it. And it's a very moving, very complex monologue. Well, this young man worked on this monologue, worked so hard on it. And then there came time in the semester where I worked individually with each of the actors. And we worked right here, right on the edge of the stage, and I sat in the front row. And he did his monologue for me, alone. He was spectacular. I don't know that I'd ever seen such good acting from a young man who had never acted before. And when he got finished, I said to him, you've never done this? I said, you should do this. You are wonderful. I can't tell you a thing that will make this better. And he said, well, I can really identify with it. I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm dying. He had AIDS, and he had been told he only had a few months to live. Well, I was completely overcome. I just couldn't believe it. That I also chose that monologue for him, and so I, of course, told him how sorry I was that he was so sick, and that I was really sorry that I chose that monologue for him. He was like, oh, no, I loved it. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And so I asked him, after I kind of composed myself, I said, can you tell me why you would choose for the last couple of months of your life to take an acting class at Howard Community College? There's Paris, there's, things you could do. And he said to me, I wanted to create art. I wanted to do that in my life, and I didn't think that I would ever be able to learn an instrument so fast or learn to paint or dance. He said, but from what I had read about acting and theater, that if it's truth and I can express truth, then maybe I could create art. Well, he did, and he actually came back and performed at the end of the semester for a whole theater, this theater of people, and he changed his life, our lives, and he was touched by the art and touched all of us. So in this world of high tech, high tech, high tech, we have to remember that the arts are high touch. Thank you. Thank you.